I was so honored that this particular conference had come about and how Neil curated it and when he announced it and how he chose the particular presenters for the conference. It was just incredible. I was honored because I feel that it is such a vital conference at this time to be had, and then how much of an impact that it could have on humanity. I wanted to just talk a little bit about something from the primordial seed introspection. Thankfully, due to studying Hebrew, studying Aramaic, I had come across a very ancient prayer that I had recited since I was 9 years old. And it talks about the Ahavat Olam. The Ahavat Olam itself is eternal love. And it talks about the unconditional, absolutely unconditional love that one can have towards not only themselves, but towards humanity. To embody Ahavat Olam, which is what I truly feel Yeshua embodied on this earthly plane, Mary Magdalene embodied on this earthly plane, and the Marys embodied, and the entire lineage embodied and carried that throughout the ages, that primordial seed of Ahavat Olam. To embody this seed means compassion, eternal compassion towards all of humanity without prejudice, without judgment, without any type of condition. Ahavat Olam refers to the ancient manuscript of time, almost like an assistance, guidance to allow human beings to be able to co-create and cohabitate with one another. It is so deep in its antiquity that it takes the concept of morphogenetic anthroposophic DNA reconfiguration of the entire primordial seed, meaning that embodying Ahavat Olam in the ascension process means allowing yourself to be so open in your heart and in your sacred mind that you would literally morphogenetically reconstruct every single cell, every organ in your body, and allow it to take hold where you ascend slowly in this lifetime, whether it be your first lifetime, whether it be a number of your lifetimes, or whether it be the finish line, where you would be able to fluidly and flawlessly travel through dreams, visions, through different realms, where you would be able to almost look through the timestamp of your own soul family and be able to co-create with your triads, with your soul family on a deep, deep, deep morphogenetic level. And that is what I truly feel that the Magdalene lineage co-created, curated during the Christed era, and even before, through Mother Anna, through Mary Anna, through the Marys. And I truly believe, even deep down in my own heart, that the Holy Grail, the cup itself, really refers to that primordial seed essence of Ahavat Olam, meaning the capacity of the openness of the entirety of the being within the opening of the heart center, to allow your entire light to be shown, to allow your voice, your actual radiance, and your own actual original DNA blueprinted frequency to be able to hold that resonance outward, not just within, but outward, and to be able to embody that fluidity, that beauty, that resonance, that effervescent blueprint, and to carry it outward. I know that right before the conference, I had a beautiful conversation with Geraldine Orozco, who has been on the Portal to Ascension many, many times. And she had asked me, what do you think you might talk about? And at that point, I was trying to say something about maybe in regards to the harmonic conversions of Rasika Pisces, and talking about different aspects of maybe possibly looking into celestial introspection. But then I kind of changed course and received a very strong message from Yeshua, and received a very strong message from Mary Magdalene and the Marys, and particularly Mother Mary, to talk about the importance of our ascension process at this very moment, the importance of how far our humanity has come, that we are at a point of artroversiamo, as it states in Latin, the cross point. We are the forma a Soriento. We're going back to like that old ancient song called the Returning Back to Soriento. We are returning back to our divine Sophia essence in our prima materia form. We are embodying the Yeshua, the Maria Magdalena clan, the lineage, the essence, the effervescence, the resonance. We all hold that within us. We are who we have been waiting for. We are the arthroversiamo of this very time. And as we break the silence of ages, we move in to opening the doorways of humanity to not only walk through into a new golden age. We are all meeting each other at these beautiful intersections, at these crossroads, amidst into the ethers, at the intersection and the dawning of the new awakening. And this awakening process is coming so fast. It's like a horse speeding in the wind. It's just so beautiful to see that we are coming from all walks of life, and we are transforming and we are changing every single day. And it's not that we are changing course. We are literally becoming what we are meant to become. That is what we are. That is what we've been. And we are just going back to our origin on a morphogenetic level. And it is most importantly through the remembrance of what is the most essence, essential resonance within us. And I invite everyone to close their eyes, just even for a moment, and just kind of breathe in deeply and walk with me on this beautiful, almost like a journey of words, as we open our sacred hearts and our sacred minds to the sound of a beautiful light language given at this current time live by Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Mother Anna, together the Marys and Yeshua. Yerume Atam Ki On Aki. Translation: open your heart to the understanding of love. Ahe elamia ke te siele amo, te shasia le kopa le amia kiasi, le asoya le akomia no casa, le asia ke mo te aisi la ruach, te asia ke ma le numa, te asia se la amia kiasi le mokoma se le ma, te shasia le aki, te shasia le amo te sia makana. Teshua se la kiatio mokalasia. Teshua seke. Teshua sea. Teshua sea. Breathe in deeply and Teshua sea. Take a nice deep breath in. And our message from Archangel Metatron. Breath is the intersection between dimensions, between life and between death, but there is no life and there is no death. It is a straight line through dimensions. in fluidity, in flawless essence and radiance and resonance. In the context of love, as we turn into a brand new age, as we look forward to a brand new, non-silenced age of a completely transformed alchemically, a human, through the cosmic Terra Lumen clan, a brand new clan. It's not brand new. It is the old coming back to the future, as all time is present, past, and future, all weaved like an infinite tapestry together as two wholes become one. Within the Vesica Pisces, the harmonic convergence. As we all become that which we are meant to become, we look forward to a brand new age of transparency, transcendence, love without condition, love without judgment, love that allows the embodiment of the Magdalene, the fire, the flame, the beautiful crystalline grid inside your own adamantine particles, the beautiful primordial seed which Ishtar and Inanna talked about in the ancient times, that beautiful primordial love, the passion, the chrism, the divine union, the sacred sexuality that Isis had talked about in her temples. We are all looking into a brand new age that would allow us to take the dawning of this new millennia, the dawning of this ascension process into new heights. And we are all keys to open up innumerable doors on this eternal platform of all life, where love itself, unconditional, eternal, ahavat olam, draped within the infinite tapestry of the ruach of the lab, of the heart, and the ruach of the malchut, of the sacred mind, where those two become one. And they connect on a frequency transcended throughout ages and across the entire galactic spectrum. Individually, where everyone can retain, maintain, and embody and exhume their own originally blueprinted DNA resonance that would allow them to shine across timelines, across spaces, dimensions, and allow their soul to sing its own original blueprinted song as an old ancient lullaby, allowing life to take hold on a different plane, on a different level, allowing it to shine, allowing it to penetrate every single catacomb of darkness, and allowing each soul to be uplifted and to be healed and to come whole and to reclaim each and every single fragmented part, to come home, not only to love, not only to Terra, not only to the cosmos, but to come home to ourselves. For this is the official clarion call to return back to your Magdalene, to your home, the home that is located within the deepest parts of your heart, dear ones, the deepest parts of your soul in your soul journey, to allow it to take you home where it is safe, where there is so much love, where you are fully in peace with all of humanity within the Ahalvat Olam, within the Salam aleikum, within the peace, within the shalom of your own soul resonance. I ask you today, dear ones, to allow your heart to open so wide that it would allow the resonance of your soul coming straight from the Arcturus, the Lyra, the Pleiades, Cassiopeia, from Andromeda, from all galactic planes to come and co-create the most magnificent, the most effervescent version of you that any lifetime would ever see. And allow yourselves to feel peace in your heart of hearts and inside your soul, so that the new age, the new dawning of the new ascension and the awakening and the ethers can be penetrated by the deepest pulse of love throughout every single corner, from the east to the west, from the south to the north, with love and only love. And as my deepest, closest friend on this earth, Erica Miller, who had gone with me to Israel on this beautiful sacred journey of learning and co-creating with the Magdalene lineage, she said once, pain can serve as the biggest medicine on earth, because pain can always be alchemically transformed into love. And it is in the pain that you often wake up and begin the journey of awakening, because it makes you feel human, but that feeling goes into the deepest journey and awakens you morphogenetically in the cells, in the mitochondria, in your nucleus, to the point where you no longer accept the reality that is in front of you as in the physical. You yearn deeply through your soul and your oversoul and your higher self to learn and relearn and remember the truest, most authentic version of yourself. So I thank you all, without taking any more time, for we had such amazing presenters and such beautiful presentations here. It is such a blessing. It is such an honor to be a part of this experience. That is what it is, really, an experience that will last lifetimes. Thank you so much, and have the most extraordinary, beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you, Neil, and thank you to the Portal to Ascension. Thank you so much to Phil. Thank you to Melissa and to all the presenters. You guys were absolutely extraordinary. One of the best conferences I've ever attended. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianna. Wow, that transmission was so beautiful, and it was just the icing on the cake of the day, right? And like, whenever you talk, like, I've heard you talk of obviously quite a lot, but I always felt this grounded presence in the way you communicate, and just so like, and it's just this knowingness that comes from you of your lineage, you know, and you say it with such conviction. And that was just the way we needed to really end this, is the conviction of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, who we are and what we're here to do. And so thank you for bringing that wisdom here today.
Marianna, when you stepped up and said you wanted to speak after that, you know, Phil was originally scheduled to close us. And Phil, you were amazing as always. He brings forward so much information that bends my mind. And I want to acknowledge both of you together. I don't know if you saw what I wrote in the chat, but I see you not as partners in crime, but partners in shine. You both bring us into you bring us into a merging of our hearts with our minds. And what you did to close out this container of divine love that every person here co-created, not just the speakers and you, Neil. Oh my gosh, I have such gratitude for all of the speakers and for you, Neil. and deep gratitude for each one of the people who showed up here today, because they're rounding out the container for the where we're going. What I'm feeling right now is you're bringing us into the next octave of our soul's journey of remembrance. And where we're at on this timeline with what we see happening on the outside, what everyone here today did is helped us cultivate inner peace amongst the chaos and bring us back to calming our nervous systems and remembering ourselves as love. That's where we feel the greatest amount of safety and joy and gratitude to be birthing these energies for the new earth. And how incredible that it's your son's birthday, Marianna, that you took the day today, your birthing day of your incredible, beautiful little soul that you brought to this earth, and got to hold this container. And really, that's what I feel. That's why it was meant. It was a divine orchestration that you follow Phil and bring us into this closure with this incredible divine love. I can't thank all of you enough. This has been, I feel like I never left my post. I just sat here listening and feeling and absorbing the transmissions of all of the speakers that shared codes and keys for all of us here.
Exactly.
Neil, when I posted, was it this morning or last night? I posted on my Facebook and Instagram page, and one of my friends who's been listening to Awakening Code Radio, she texted while we were all on air. And I thought she was saying she was listening to the podcast that we did this week. We did a special 2-hour podcast this week. And she said, I'm listening to it. She was listening on this. She just jumped on. She's never been on Portal to Ascension before. So I want to give a shout out to my dear friend, Patsy, Patricia. She had to leave to go to an appointment, but she's going to watch the rest of the replay. But she was blown away by everybody sharing as well.
So beautiful.
Just such a beautiful weaving. Just
It
incredible.
was a beautiful weaving today. And I know Phil wants to close out with Marianna in a moment here with a prayer, but I want to share a couple of things, and Phil and Marianna can do the official closing. A couple of things there. Someone did ask about the skull connection, and I did some research over the last hour, and I want to speak about that skull connection. But another thing is, we're speaking about the divine union. There's the Christ consciousness, there's the Sophianic energy, there's the right, there's the left brain hemisphere, there's duality, there's polarity, there's the feminine and masculine archetypes that transcend gender. Now, we've lived in this world of duality. Duality eventually became polarity. Polarity eventually became good and evil, darkness and light, and all of that. And I really feel that part of our mission on Earth, something that we think is something that's new, we didn't know that we could have remembrance and have something that's new, because we're full of remembrance, knowing everything. If you know everything, how can it be new? Because you know everything. So part of this lesson on Earth was to wipe our memories clean, have amnesia, and be like, oh, well, it will be very new and novel if we go ahead and don't remember everything and see if we can remember the light. But what we've achieved over these thousands and thousands of years, if not more, is we've achieved a way to have remembrance, have multidimensionality, while still exist in physicality. That's what's new. So I really feel that we're here on Earth to walk in singularity while we exist in duality. And that is the divine union, with the two archetypes, the two polarities coming as one, really much representing the Mary Magdalene, Sophianic, and that. And can you live the paradox? Can you, you've heard Portal to Ascension, I've said paradox more than any other word, but can we live the paradox? Can we be in oneness while we walk in the duality, right? And so I feel today is really beautiful because we spoke about these archetypes, and also really literal historical people and how they represented and embodied that. So that's just one thing I want to share. Now, the other thing is the skull aspect, and it's very interesting just to go into this. Somebody said that a lot of images today had the skull in it, and she's curious about why we have the skull. So there's a couple minutes here to break this down a bit. So we have, of course, the mystical meaning of the symbol of transformation and initiation. In Gnostic and esoteric traditions, the skull represents the death of the ego and the awakening of higher consciousness. This aligns with Magdalene's role as a spiritual initiate, teacher of the mysteries. And in alchemy, the skull represents the caput mortuum, deadhead, in alchemy, the stage in which the ego or material self must die for spiritual rebirth. Mary Magdalene's contemplative pose with the skull often mirrors this alchemical idea. And then the divine feminine and wisdom keeper, Mary Magdalene as the Gnostic Sophia. She is sometimes seen as a human embodiment of Sophia, the divine wisdom. The skull in this context can represent deep inner knowledge attained through suffering, loss, and rebirth. And the one with the skull is the keeper of the mysteries. In some mystical traditions, Mary Magdalene was said to be the keeper of Yeshua's most sacred teachings, teachings about death, resurrection, and ascension. And I'll just add one more thing here. We have ascension and the cranium, the third eye. In mystical anatomy, in esoteric teachings, the skull can represent the cranium as the sacred container of consciousness, the temple where the divine awakening can occur. Some mystics associate Magdalene's presence with the Kundalini rising, pineal activation, and third eye awakening, spiritual resurrection from within the skull itself. And that is where our brain resides, and that is our receiver of consciousness. So I thought that'd be a cool little piece of information to add to today.
Yeah. Personally, I believe it's John the Baptist, but then you never know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So can you hear this?
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, cool. So again, thank you, Michelle, Neil, everyone who participated, all of you who participated. Don't think it was us and them. It's we, So I'd like to do what's called Mary's Prayer of Love. It's called the Mermaid's Prayer. It's a beautiful prayer from the Grail lineage, as taught by Yesu and Mary in their sacred union. It was a prayer to Mother, Father, Creator, the Great Womb. It's spoken, my Aramaic, Marianna, is a little rusty, so I'll say the line in English, and then you can translate into Canaanite, Hebrew, Aramaic, okay? Abum b'mishma, okay. You do the Aramaic, okay?
I could even do one better. How about I do light language? Yeah.
Ready?
So you could read it in Wunda Mishmaya, and I'll do the light language.
Okay. I'll do the English and the Aramaic, and you do the light language, or just the English and the light language, I think. Ready?
Just the light language.
Our prime creator, who births all from the great womb.
Akunakia makiatui.
I am full of the awe of love's presence in all.
Ruach iteamiasiu.
May the feminine power of creation birth love within me.
Kenomasiaeo.
May I merge with the flow of Shakti.
Shiva Shakti Akiami Nomaya.
So we may create heaven on earth.
Haim Lakiasiu Mae.
Give us the gifts of love's bounty, beauty, and abundance.
Keaturasia Matola Mekasa.
Let forgiveness rebirth all into innocence.
Shisia Laki Nomaku. Ae.
Bring us the wisdom of true knowing.
Vekulasia Toma. Betuke.
Help us to feel and release all that is not love.
Kefkie yurume kete asi kete atum ketno.
For the power of love is the only truth.
Kete asila ahavat olam.
Our hearts are strong with faith and with trust.
Ram kisia leki aram ara ahum.
For love is eternal.
Ahum ahavat olam.
Yes. By the great womb, may it be so.
Iake yerume akuase a.
Amen, 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 and amen.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Absolutely exquisite.